let's start with the book cover, shall we? What I'm actually going to do, you guys, is I'm going to create a single document with 2 pages so that my book cover and my spine are in the same document and grab it. If you wanted to work in Photopea, you have to set up 2 different files because Photopea doesn't create multiple pages, multiple artboards. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this in Gravit. We're going to make sure we're in inches to begin with, and I'm going to start with the larger file size, so 5 inches by 7 inches, and click Create. Right away, I'm going to come over here to my DPI and change it to 300. Oh my gosh, I'm grading your personal brands. I can't believe how many of you still are not changing your DPI to 300. Shame. I'm also going to set a margin of what is it? Somebody who's looking at the specs, is that you, Destiny?
0.25, I think.
0.25, quarter inch. So 0.25, and if I have this little button clicked right here, it'll make all my margins equal. Okay, so 0.25 on all 4 sides. You do not have to worry about a bleed for this file, and normally I would say you would want to put a bleed because you want your colors to go all the way to the edge probably for your book cover, right? But because we're going to take these files and put them into the mock-up in Photopea, it will mess them up if the bleed is there. It's like when you export the file, it's like too much that you have to cut off. So don't worry about putting on a bleed, but make sure that your color does go to the edge of your page. Okay, so let's call this page cover. I'm going to call it cover. And the next thing I need to do is make the spine. So I'm going to make a copy of this. Actually, we'll just make new page, and we'll call this one spine. Now, I can't see it because I don't have my multi-page view mode turned on. So I'm going to turn that on, and now I can see both of my cover and my spine. I want my cover to be on the right side of my spine, just because the way that I'm designing it is the artwork is wrapping around. So I suggest that you put your spine to the left. Okay, so I'm just going to select it until it highlights, and then I can move it. And I'll put it over here, like, about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch away. But that's not the right size, so what size do I need to make that?
1 by 7.
Okay, so I'll go up here to the size, and I'll change the width to 1 inch by 7. We'll keep everything else the same. Gotta move it again. So there's my spine, and there's my cover. And then before I do anything else, I want to make those even. I want to save this file. So I'm going to save this file and name it, because right now it's called Untitled. That's no bueno. So I'm going to click on File. File, and I'm going to save it to the cloud so it'll stay there and I can keep working on it. And I've got a Studio 903 folder. You may or may not have that. I'll call it we're in P2, right? P2 _ your name _ book cover. Okay. And there's my file. Now, if I were going to do this in Photopea, I would just have to set up 2 files. So I'm going to open up Photopea real quick and show you that real fast. So there's Photopea. I'm going to say File, New. Let me move you out of the way. We'll name it right here at the top. P2 _ your name _ book cover. And we want to work in inches. And this needs to be 5 inches by 7 inches at 300 PPI. And we'll click Create. So that's going to be my book cover file. Then I have to make a second one, File, New. And we'll call this one Spine, Book Spine. And this one is 1 inch by 7 inches. Click Create. Okay? So you could do this in Photopea if you're really comfortable in Photopea. It just means that you're working in 2 different files. That means you have 2 files to save. I actually preferred to make the cover in Gravit because I can have 2 pages right next to each other. All right? Now, you know what I have to do here? I got to make sure, why did it go back to 72? I need this to be 300 PPI. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to save that again. It's 300 PPI. Now, I've already made a file with a sample for you, so I'm going to open that up. So I'm going to open up file from the cloud. This is my sample, and I have the We Sit by Fire title for you, but I also have another title. So there's We Sit by Fire. Okay, there's the spine, and there is the cover. So you can see that the flame kind of wraps around, okay? And then this is the second design that I made. And it's a different book title. And it's not quite finished, but you can see there's a title, there's some artwork, there's a little text down here. It's slightly different. I've moved things around a little bit. So there's a second title. What I wanted to show you as well, but you could work with raster images, and you can combine raster and vector images, and you can bring raster images into Gravit. That's okay if you want to work in Gravit, as I prefer to for this particular assignment, because I can see my spine and I can see the cover right next to each other. So this is going to be like a photographic version of the We Sit by Fire book, but I'm going to use a photo. And I'm going to combine that with photo and vector. So can you see how my photo is extending, like it's wrapping around to the spine as well? You guys see that? It's actually two photos.
Yes.
I want to actually show you how I did that. Is that okay? Because you might want to work with images. You might prefer to work with vector graphics for your design, or you might want to work with raster graphics. It's up to you. Okay, so I have my project folder for book cover right here. And I'm going to take the image that I took a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to drag it and drop it right onto my file in Gravit Design. And then from here, I'm going to resize this. I want it to take up basically the whole space. So I'm going to grab from the corner and drag it open so that it's as large as the whole canvas. Okay. But what if I wanted to crop this image? I don't really want it to be looking like that. I actually want this to be shifted over here a little bit like this. I'm thinking about the rule of thirds. So I'm going to just keep resizing it. Oops, I'm not grabbing the image. Come on now. Just going to resize it so that it's big enough. And I'm using the margins as kind of a guide for myself. When I'm thinking about the rule of thirds, I don't want this flame, this cairn of rocks with the flame right in the middle. I want it kind of off to the right a little bit. So I'm just going to shift it around where I think I want it. And I know it's now covering the book and the spine. I'm gonna actually crop it now. So how do you do that? Well, if you right click and use on the image, right click on it, you can actually crop it, but I think you could also go to sub select. Yeah. So sub select will allow you to crop. So I'm gonna crop this in to about right there where the end of the page is. And I'm going to crop it over to the cover. There's the cover. Do the same thing up here. And the same thing down here. Oops, I moved it, not cropped it. It's kind of previewing for me what it's supposed to look like. And then if I go back to the selection, to the pointer, you can see where the crop is. But now I've lost it from the spine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a copy of that. Look, it's on my cover page. So I'm going to make a copy of this. Just select the image, Command C, go over to the spine, Command V, and paste it. And it's going to paste, I want to paste it in place. So just move it back there. And I'll go to the sub select again. And this time I'm going to crop it to the size of the spine. So I'll open it up. Hold on a second. It's not on the right place for me. I want it to be on the other. Okay, so I'm on spine and I just need to get it into the right position. There we go. And then from there, I can sub-select and I can crop it to the spine. Okay, let's go back to the pointer tool. And now you can see that if I wanted the image to wrap all the way around to the spine, I've got a single image that's wrapping all the way. And then from here, I can start to build my title and my other elements. Okay, you guys, what I want to show you right now so that I can let you go and get some work done is how to use the logo, okay? So one of the questions that just came up with Destiny was, are we supposed to use our own logo or are we supposed to use a logo that you find online? It's up to you. The whole point of this is you just made a logo a couple weeks ago for your personal brand. If you've made up your book cover, or even if you didn't, if you're using an existing title like To Kill a Mockingbird or Harry Potter, you can use your logo as the publisher logo just to get a little practice in doing this, or you can find a logo for a book publisher online. I'm going to show you both, okay? I'm going to show you, the first thing is how to use your logo. So what you're looking at right now is my project from a couple weeks ago for the personal brand. And remember, I did it in Gravit. I've got two different artboards. One is the logo and one is my style guide. So I'm going to go to the artboard with my logo. And I'm just going to grab the whole thing. It's grouped right now. You can see it's a group in the layers. I'm going to copy it, Command or Control C, and I'm going to go over to my book cover file. And you guys saw me building this the other day. This is my book cover file. And I already did it right here on this one, and I changed the color to black and gray. That's not in my brand guide, but this is a separate project. I'm adjusting the colors to what makes sense for us for now, okay? So, hold on, I need to move this out of the way. Trying to do that so I can see you. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just paste over here my logo. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm on the page I wanna be on. I'll be on this page, and I'm gonna click Command or Control V to paste. There's my logo, it comes right in. Now remember when we were designing the logo, I said you were creating a combination mark, something that had the icon or the symbol, the monogram, and your name. So we don't need the name for this, we just need the symbol. So I'm gonna get rid of the name on this. So I need to kind of look at what I have here. If I open up this group, I've got this group, subgroup here. There's the J, there's the L, there's the other L, and this right here is the text for my name. I'm gonna get rid of my name. Now I'm gonna get rid of my name because it's not the name of a publisher, okay? So I'm gonna just get rid of it. Now I have these other elements and I'm gonna change the color. So I wanna think about maybe all white or all black or something that's gonna make sense with the rest of my design. I think I'm gonna go with white and like orange or something because I want it to kind of feel integrated with the rest of the book cover. So I'm gonna take this L and it's selected and I'm gonna change it from green to white. I'm gonna do that with this one. Selecting it in the layers panel, change it from green to white. And then for the J, that's this one. I think I wanna try and I'm gonna see if I can select maybe like this yellow color over here from, yeah, there we go. Well, maybe, yeah. Maybe a little bit darker. There we go. I don't know what happened, but I kept my text here. I think I undid accidentally, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Go away. There we go. Okay, so now I have this logo and it's a different color and I just need to resize it. So I'm gonna select it. I'm gonna hold down the Shift key to resize it smaller and I'll just move it into position wherever I think it's needed on my spine or on my book cover. So that's one way that you can use a logo. The second option would be to choose something that you find online. So over here, if I go to this window and I go to a Google image search, I just searched up book publisher logo and I used my tools to select maybe a medium-sized file. It doesn't need to be too big, but you don't want it to be blurry, okay? And you can actually get these choices here where it says transparent vector. I'm gonna choose transparent. Doesn't always work transparent though, because I don't want a weird background on it. Let's just select this first one, the Pelican Publishing Company. I'm gonna click on it. It looks like it's transparent. It's on a transparency grid. Let's just save that to our desktop. And then I'm gonna come over to the book cover file and I'm gonna drag it in right here. Okay, it's not truly transparent because look, it's got a fake bounding box of what looks like a transparency grid. I want to get rid of all of that. I want to remove all of that so it's just the logo itself. So there's a couple things I can do. If I try to vectorize this logo here in Gravit Designer, I want you to see what happens. So I'm going to go to modify path, vectorize image. That's not good. It vectorized the transparency grid as well. It looks like poo-poo. So that is not a good option for this. So we'll undo that. What I want to do is bring this logo into Photopea, and I'm going to edit the logo in Photopea. So I'm going to go over to Photopea, and I'm going to drag the logo into Photopea, and it should open right up in Photopea. Let's see here. Okay, it's not dragging, so we'll open. So inconsistent. Open in Photopea. There we go. There's the logo. So what I want to do here is I want to separate the black logo from this fake transparency grid because it really truly isn't transparent. It's what looks like a transparency grid. So I'm going to use the magic wand and I'm going to select everything that's black. So I'm going to just click right here. It just selects the outer ring. I'm going to hold down Shift to add to my selection. Select that. Don't forget the I, and I'm going to select each one of these letters. And now that I have all that black stuff selected, I'm going to Command J or Control J to jump that selection to a new layer, Command J. And now look, I have a truly transparent logo just on that next layer. But what if I didn't want it to be black? What if I wanted it to be another color? Or what if I wanted it to be all white or whatever? Well, remember, I can select any of my pixels on that layer and I can change the color. So I'm actually, my selection is still active, but if it wasn't still active, I can Command or Control click on the layer to select all the pixels on the layer, and then I can change the color. So let's just pick this green, Option or Alt Delete to fill it with a different color. I don't really like the green. So let's choose a different green or a different color. Let's choose the yellow. Option or Alt Delete changes it. You can see here that I could change it to basically whatever I wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna go for white because I want a white logo on that background. So Option Delete, sorry, let's click OK. Option or Alt Delete to fill that with white. Now I've got a logo that's all white on a transparent background. This right here, I can actually get rid of if I wanted to, or just keep it turned off. I'm gonna export this file as a PNG. File, export as a PNG. It's larger than I need it to be, but it's okay. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. It just downloaded and it doesn't have a proper name. So I'm gonna go to my downloads folder. You guys can see all of this, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just gonna call this Penguin. Oh, it's Pelican, not Pelican. Pelican logo. Transparent. Okay, we'll drag that over to our desktop, to the project folder for book cover. I'm gonna go back to my Gravit design and I will go to my book cover folder, Pelican logo. That's the one I just edited, and I'll drag it in. Now look at the difference between that and that. This is a nice clean logo with a truly transparent background, not a fake transparency. And I can hold down Shift and I can resize it and I can put it where I need it. Okay. This is the internet lying to me. It is not really a transparent background. So the reason why I showed you this is because you need to use both Gravit Design and Photopea to get this project done. For different pieces, different parts, you're gonna have to use them both. So use them, both. What questions do you have before I let you go with about 50 minutes to get some work done on your project?
You froze. I couldn't hear any of that.
Did I freeze for anybody else?
Yeah,
What part did I freeze on?
just this part when you were talking, you came back to grab it, and that's when you froze for me.
Same.
Okay, so what do you guys still need to see? When I came back to grab it,
You were about to click something on the side and then you froze.
can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
All right, what I'm showing you is the difference between the logo I just edited in Photopea to create a truly transparent background and the logo that I just dragged in that said it had a transparent background. So this one really is a truly transparent logo now. I had to use Photopea to be like that. And now I can use it on my book cover. I'm just holding down Shift to resize it, and I can put it wherever I need to. The book cover project. Right here in the book cover project is the click here to download the mockup template. It's a PSD file and it's big. That's why I'm worried. It's 125 megs. Hopefully it works for you guys. If you click on the link, it should download for you and it'll go to your downloads or to your Chrome or your Google Drive folder if you're working on a Chromebook, okay? You're not opening it on the computer, you're opening it in Photopea. Just remember, you're opening it with Photopea. So I'm going to open up my downloads and there it is right there. Hardcover book mockup is what it's called. Studio 903 hardcover book mockup PSD. I'm just going to put it into my project folder for this project. And I already had one there, but I'm going to put it in there anyway. Oh, did I want to do that? No, I didn't because I think that one I already have. I'll just leave it right there for right now. Okay, I need to open Gravit Designer because I need to make sure that I've properly exported my files. So I'm going to show you that part too. So first I downloaded that file. I'm going to go ahead and export the spine, and I'm going to export the book cover for this version, okay? So remember, I got to be on the page. I don't want to have anything selected on my page. I just want to be on the page. The whole thing should be selected, okay? And then go down to export, make exportable right down here. Click the plus sign because I want to create an export file. All right, so I'm going to go down and I'm going to choose 300 DPI, and I don't need to worry about suffix. I want a PNG. And I click this button and it'll export for me the spine. Okay, spine. Let's just put it on the desktop so it's right there for us right now. I typed in Sping. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the cover and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna make that exportable. There we go. Okay, so here is my cover PNG on my desktop. There is my spine PNG on my desktop. It's called Sping for some reason. I don't know why, because I typed it in wrong. All right, now I'm gonna go to Photopea. Boom. Photopea. And I'm gonna open up that PSD file that I downloaded from Photopea. There it is right there, Studio 903 hardcover book mockup. This is what I want you guys to pay attention to, how this file is built. It's going to take a second to load it. Okay, this is the file. It's a blank book, but look over here at the layers. You can understand how the layers are built. The spine has its own layer group. The cover has its own layer group. Okay, that's the spine. That's the cover. That's the table. That's the table surface. This is the background color, and you can change the background color if you want to be something else. Okay, all you got to do is click on, you just double click right there on the layer, on this little thumbnail on the layer, and you can change the background to whatever color you want. Okay, and then this background is the actual just solid white background that's giving you a base on your canvas. So you want to make sure you keep that on, otherwise your photo will look transparent. Okay, so if you want to change the like wall color behind where you're presenting your book, you can do that right here where it says change background color. Let's look inside the layer groups for spine and cover. So inside spine, I have this overlay texture. There's a your design here, which I turned off right now, but if you turn it on, that's what it looks like, your design here. This is a texture. Let me see if I can zoom in and you can see it. It's kind of like a linen texture for the book. It just gives it a little bit more realistic texture, okay? So that's what that is. And then I'm gonna turn that off for a second. This is the actual book spine. That's what that is, okay? And then this is the shadow, okay? And then the same thing for cover. You've got the texture. Let me turn this on for you. That's the sample texture, okay? This is the overlay of the linen texture that makes it look like it's a real book. This is the design. This is the actual cover. And don't be surprised by that. That's the shadow. Okay? So what you want to do, let's bring in the cover first. We want your design to be basically in this position between the overlay and the book cover. So I'm just going to drag in my cover to this file. And there it is. It says right there cover, but it's under everything. So I need to move it to be up here. Okay, and then I'm going to grab it with the move tool and move it onto position on top of the book. I'm gonna actually turn your design off here, okay? So there it is, it's just flat right now. It's not doing anything. So I gotta use a blending mode right here. And the blending mode I wanna choose is multiply, which will burn it down onto the book and show you the texture of the book spine right there underneath it. You have to make sure that you switch to multiply. And then can you see that I have a little bit of the book overhanging here? That's because when I told you to make it 5x7, sometimes there's small variations. So you might just need to like slightly crop some of that out of the way. And the way that you do that is just delete some of the pixels, or you can reduce the size. So I can free transform it. I'm going to Control Option T, and I can just make it slightly smaller. Okay, that's one way that you can adjust it so that it fits perfectly on the book. But you can also, if I rasterize the layer, I can go in here and I can just select some of these pixels right at the edge of the book where it says cover and delete them, just to make sure that it fits exactly as I want it to and is presented on the book exactly as I want it to. Okay, you might have to make some small refinements like that to make sure that it looks like you want it. Let's not forget to turn back the overlay texture on, because that really gives it that book effect. Do you see that? If I zoom way in, can you see that linen texture? Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over with the spine artwork. And when you're done with that, you can actually delete your design here if you want. You can delete these other things that are not doing anything. I'm going to bring in spine, drag it in. Wait. See, now it's doing weird stuff. So I'll go to File, Place, open in place, spine. It should just let you drag it in, but for some reason, the dragging function glitches for me when I'm doing a live Zoom like this. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm gonna move it. Open up spine. And I'm gonna move spine up here into the spine layer group. I'll go ahead and toggle cover closed. So spine, gotta put it in the right place. In the layers, understanding how the layers work. I'm gonna move it over here. Get it kind of in the right position. I have to change the blending mode to multiply. And you can tell your design here actually has a multiply mode too. So if you forget, this layer right here is doing what you're supposed to do. So spine, multiply. Now it's multiplying. I need to clean up some of these things on the side. So I will rasterize the image. And then I'm going to use the rectangular marquee tool to delete some of these pixels that are right off the edge that I don't want. Make sure you're on the right layer, spine, delete. And I'll select over here just to clean it up. Delete. Turn off my selection. And then I'm gonna make sure I've got the overlay texture on. It's doing multiply. There we go. There is my book. Looking really good. Maybe I'll change the background color slightly just to warm it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Little light blue. Okay, sure, why not? There we go. Looks pretty cool, right? Now, once you have all of that done and your mockup is ready to go, you have to export this mockup file. You have to export this as a PNG, and that is the file you put on your Spark page. So I'm going to go to File, Export as PNG. This file is 16 inches by 11.38, by the way. So don't adjust it. Please make sure that you rename that file so that when you keep it in your own files, you've got it named correctly. So it's not named the PSD mockup. This is the one I just downloaded. That's the current one. So rename this, P1 underscore your name underscore book cover mockup. And you can even put mockup on it so that you know that's the final image. That's what you put on your Spark page. Also, don't forget, download your PSD file. Download the actual PSD file so you always have this PSD file, because this is a mock-up of your work. You might want to go back to this at some point and change it or do something else with it, okay? So make sure you save your native files, make sure you save your PNG. That is what I needed to show you today.